Hey, we are back finally. It is very nice to be back. I went to Vancouver, ran the marathon, went to China and then Japan for a few weeks, and I'm finally back. So I wanted to talk about the trip a bit and honestly, like, kind of what's been on my mind and how the trip went and what I guess I've been thinking about. Firstly, I think something that's been top of mind is see your family more, man. I have a very small family. In Toronto, it's just my mom and me. My dad's usually in China, and then all my cousins, aunts, and uncles are spread across America and also China. So when I got to go to Shanghai, I saw my grandparents, I saw cousins that I haven't seen in years. I saw aunts and uncles that I haven't seen in years. So that was honestly just really nice, especially because for me, like, I'm one of the older siblings or relatives. Like all my cousins are younger than me. So I feel like I have a responsibility to be that like big brother type. And, when my eventually, grandparents pass, parents pass, I gotta be holding down the fort and like connecting the family together, being one of the eldest. So I just feel like I have an inner responsibility there. So it was really nice to see a lot of my family in China. So that was great. And hey, if you're like me, you got a small family, you got relatives, across the world, or you don't really see them too often, try to see them more, man. I don't know. It was very just like heartwarming and nice to see them. Maybe also it just felt a bit different because for me, like, yeah, I haven't seen them in over like 5 to like 8 years or something. So it was like crazy long time before seeing a lot of those faces. So that was something that's been really nice. Other than that, I feel like just traveling to different places, in my opinion, really just opens up perspective a lot. And I feel like a lot of people say, oh, like travel, like spend your money on travel, but like, why, right? I think one of the biggest pieces for me is I've been fortunate enough to, be able to travel a lot ever since I was a little kid. But honestly, it's just been more recently when I've been like grown up and an adult where I kind of appreciate it a lot more. And something that really stands out to me when I travel is I feel like my entire mood and energy and perspective changes based on where I visit. So that's why I'm also a big fan of traveling to like different places all the time, or try to go outside your comfort zone. I feel like a lot of people might go like all inclusive resort every time, or just go to like Mexico every time. You know what I mean? And sure, like that's fun. But I think a big beauty of travel is like being uncomfortable and going into these like random areas where you don't speak the language or you have no idea what's going on or the culture is so different. Because I think putting yourself in those spots really helps you like adapt and like work your brain in a way. I don't know. I feel like those of traveling to like random places that I've never been before have always been the most fun and like exciting for me, at least. But why I'm saying this is, yeah, I feel like whenever I go to places like a New York or LA or something, I get very inspired. But then when I go to a place like China or like Asia, I feel like I always get very grateful when I go to Asia because, man, there's so many people. So I'll specifically talk about like Shanghai because I went to Shanghai, but there's so many people there, right? And you see a ton of like poor people, honestly. Like you see a lot of these like grandmas picking up cans on the street, selling them for like cents. And you have these like really old people, 70 years old, 80 years old, like working at these like small little food stands, like selling stuff for barely, a few dollars. And you kind of just like think about, damn, like these guys are surviving out here doing this. Like it really kind of, I don't know, seeing that stuff in Asia all the time like hits me a certain way. So that's what I really get when I go to Asia. I feel very grateful, and it's also like just seeing I feel like the wealth gap in a lot of these places are very big. Like when I went to Hong Kong and I was just watching a few videos on Hong Kong, I think like Hong Kong has the biggest wealth gap in the world by far. Don't quote me on that. I might have to like double check that. But like when you go to like a place like Hong Kong or Shanghai, like it's so cool because everything's so like technologically advanced, and it's so great. But at the same time, you have all these like you have so much poor people. It's kind of sad to see sometimes, and it just makes you appreciate where you are a bit more. Because like for me, right, I've been fortunate enough to not really worry about my finances too much ever, right? Like in my life, I'm fortunate to, have gotten good job and make a lot of money from that. And that's not because I'm any better than like anyone else. I was just luckier that I got born into, you know, a first world country like Canada. I'm no better than people in the world. I got born in, you know, these like poor places, or born into like poor families, and they just have to like struggle every single day. I'm no better than them, right? They probably work 10 times as hard as me, but I'm just like, I just got luckier, randomly chosen to be born here. So makes you really appreciate some of the little things. So I think that's one big takeaway that I got, of course, that I always get going to Asia. Last thing is, hey, I feel like people are so important. I went to Tokyo alone after Hong Kong. So I went to Shanghai, then Hong Kong. I was mostly with my dad and my family there. And then I went to Tokyo after by myself. But people are so important when you travel to. And I feel like as long as you have the right people with you, it doesn't really matter what you do or where you go. Like, it's just better when you have the right people around you, no matter the circumstance, even if you're in a shitty circumstance. And I say this because Shanghai was like so much fun because I had friends. Like I had, like, shout out like Wilson, Carlisle, like Winston, that I hung out with a lot in Asia. Got to make like new friends like them, but also like hang out with some existing friends. But it was so fun because I just had good people around me. And even like some of the days where we didn't really do anything, just like sharing a meal or like spending time with good people just makes a trip so much better. So that's why like Shanghai was so fun for me. It was just like the people. And I think that's just like a good takeaway for me to remember. It's like, hey, it doesn't really matter what you do. Like, you don't want to pick the best destination or the best restaurant, make the best reservation, do all the great things, like in whatever. It just matters about like the people around you. Yeah, that was really, really fun. And I also say this because I was alone in Tokyo. And although Japan was sick, like I haven't been to Japan in a really long time. I was alone, right? It was solo travel. And it was like pretty, like, it was fun, but I think I realized like I don't like solo traveling simply because it felt like really alone. And I'm not like the super extroverted type to try to like make a lot of friends and kind of put myself out there. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like solo traveling gets very like glorified online and on social media and shit, but in reality, I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. But I think a takeaway that I got from that is because I'm not in sales anymore and I'm not really like talking to that many people because like, you know, I just like work alone. I don't really have any coworkers or anyone. I feel like I'm slowly starting to get a bit more like quiet and reserved, which is not a good thing. Because I really think that you need to put yourself out there as much as possible because it gives you a lot of opportunity. And I'm saying this because in Japan, there were times where I would want to like talk to someone or like talk to a stranger, just like say like random shit. And I'd catch myself being like, and get a little shy in a way. I feel like that's just not good. I've definitely noticed, yeah, like in the past couple of years, when you put yourself out there and you just kind of like look dumb, it gives you a lot of opportunity. And a lot of random stuff come out of that, like random conversations or like talking to a stranger. And the few times that I did do that in Japan, where I'd like start conversation with the random person next to me or just like talk to the waiter or waitress or whatever, no, the conversation was like good and it was fun. Like obviously it's a bit hard because not a lot of people in Japan speak English, but when I did kind of like talk to random people or, you know, kind of put myself out there when I was traveling alone, people are always quite friendly. Yeah, like the conversation was always good. So I think it's a good reminder that like, yo, like don't be scared of putting yourself out there. Don't be scared of like looking dumb. Like, you know that like meme where it's like, oh, when you try to ask a girl out, like the worst thing she can say is no. Like the worst thing that can happen is, yeah, I don't know, they don't speak English or they just say no or they don't want to talk to you. And it's like not a big deal, right? Like, yo, you just gotta like put yourself out there more. It gives you a lot more opportunity. I know I said that like 5 times already. But that's something that I think I learned solo traveling. Yeah, it gets quite boring. You're alone. Like something that I realized is, man, like eating all your meals alone gets pretty boring at times, especially if you go to like a nicer place for dinner and the meal's like extended, right? If you have like ramen, it takes like 20 minutes to eat. Like that's chill. You're kind of in and out of there. But if you go to a nice restaurant, you're sitting down, you're waiting for the restaurant to serve you your courses, like it gets quite boring. So striking up conversation with like strangers or like the waiter or waitress actually is like just really nice. So I think that's a good reminder for me for sure that like, hey, I'm not really talking to a lot of people right now. Like with my work, I'm not in sales anymore. So I still got to work that muscle of like talking to strangers and just being more extroverted in a way. So I think that was definitely like something top of mind or a good takeaway that I got. But yeah, that's mostly it. I think like for a life slash career update, now that I'm back, really excited to kind of get back to the grind. I think like at this point, just gotta work a lot on marketing for my app and just like the distribution because I think the product is good and the people that actually use the app really like it. It's just it's a distribution problem right now. I still have no idea what I'm really doing, but I think that's just what makes it a bit more fun. Where I don't know. There's been so many times in my life where I have no idea what I'm doing, but I just like kind of trust the process and it always eventually works out. I think as long as you keep moving forward in the right direction, that's all that matters. I'll end this video with a cool little reel that I saw the other day, and I'll probably make a reel on it myself. It went something like the compass was invented years before the clock because people always cared about what direction you're going in instead of how long it'll take for you to get there. Direction, like the compass, the direction that you're headed to has always been way more important than time, right? How fast or worrying about how long it'll take for you to get to where you want. So as long as you're going in the right direction, I think going in the wrong direction is bad, but as long as you can make sure you're going in the right direction and you kind of just get that like 1% better every day, you know, one step forward every day. As time goes on, I think eventually everything will work out just fine.